Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about vendor events because vendor events are a place for you to meet more contacts and to hopefully get some bookings. So I want to start by sharing some of my tips. Now I want you to know that I am not an expert at vendor events. I've only done a handful, so I'm going to share what I know, but I think probably some of you might even know more than I do. So share what you know in the comments below. But first I want to share my tips, and they're in no particular order, and then I'm going to share actually the verbiage that I use when a customer comes up to my booth at a vendor event. So just a refresher, if you're not sure what a vendor event is, it's like the craft shows or the home and garden shows that you can go and set up a booth. A lot of times you have to pay a little fee, but you can find them a lot of different places this time of year have vendor events, so you can start looking for them. So in no particular order, here are my tips. The purpose of a vendor event is to make contacts, not necessarily to sell Norwex products. Of course you want to sell some things, and that's a bonus if you do, but go into it with the mindset of meeting people that could be potential new customers that could hopefully be new bookings for you, okay? So that is the purpose, connect with some people. Number 2, let's talk about your display for the vendor event. Keep your display attractive and not overwhelming. There are going to be a lot of displays there that day, and if yours has too much on it, it's going to be easy to just bypass that because it's overwhelming and people don't want to have to feel stressed looking at your booth. Don't put everything that we have on the table, okay? It will make people bypass. Here's another, number 3 tip is about the visual of your booth. So a couple tips that I have heard: add some height to your display, so either with some shelving units or different baskets that can be tiered, or what you can do is you can actually take some boxes, cardboard boxes, put them underneath your tablecloth, and it will add some different levels on your table. But if you can add height, that makes people's eyes go up, and that actually is more attractive to the eye and helps people come to your table. If everything is flat on the table, it's not as easy to see and look at. So add some visuals there. It's nice if you can have a big question that can draw people to your table. So something posted or a banner or just a big picture frame with a question. For us in Norwex, it could be something like, would you like to cut your cleaning time in half, or something like that. A question that can draw people in, make it visual. Number 4, this is a big one. Stand in front of your table. Do not stand behind your table. You paid money to be at this event, so you've got to work it, girl, okay? So stand in front of your table. If you're physically able to, do not sit down. Wear comfortable shoes so you're able to stand out in front and welcome people to your table and greet people. You need to engage them, okay? So as they walk past, you need to be able to engage them. And you also need to feel don't feel rejected if people just look at you and keep walking by. There's a lot to see and do. Think about when we're at the mall and those little kiosk people are, hey, do you want a massage? Do you want a this or that? A lot of times we just walk past them. It might happen to you too, so don't take that personally. Don't let that take the joy out of you for that day, okay? But stand in front and be engaging. Be smiling all the time and be happy to be there. Number 5, and this is a good way to be engaging, ask questions. Be a listener. Don't just spew Norwex on people as soon as they are within earshot of your booth, okay? Ask questions. So here are some questions that you could do. Something like, hey, how are you enjoying the day today? Are you having fun? Have you found any Christmas gifts yet for today? And then specifically about Norwex, you could say, what is your most difficult cleaning task? You could say, are you familiar with Norwex? You could say, what do you most dislike to clean? Just some of those questions to ask people to get them engaged rather than just throwing information at them right away, okay? Number 6, provide as much cash and carry as you are possibly able to and that your business can afford. Don't do more than your business can afford. But what I have found and what I have researched is people are less likely to order on an order form and from a catalog at a vendor event. They are there to just pick up cash and carry items, okay? So figure out what you're able to afford. Save some of the incentive products that Norwex provides for us. They're so generous to us. Save some of those for vendor events so that you can then turn around and sell them at a vendor event. If you cannot afford to do much, that's okay, because remember, you are there to make contacts. But you could offer something like a show special for anyone who places an order. So you could do something like free shipping on an order, or reduced shipping, or you could give an incentive if someone places a certain dollar amount on an order. You could do something to kind of incentivize people to place a catalog order. Number 7 is give out samples. So try not to be stingy with your samples. Norwex is a product that once you have it in their hands and they use it, they're going to like it. So I have just a couple samples here. I have this packet I put together, and in it I have a cut up EnviroCloth, cut up window cloth, because we get a lot of those all the time. So cut those apart, use them as samples. I also put a sample of the Ultra Power Plus laundry detergent and a sample of the cleaning paste. And I just put these in jewelry bags that you can get from like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or even Amazon. You could get these. And then what I always recommend is putting some type of instructions in there on how to use the samples. And you don't have to do all of these, you know, you could do a couple, but make sure you instruct the person on how to use them. Because if you just give them a cut up piece of rag, they're not going to know what to do with it, right? So make sure that you put some instructions. And then another thing that I heard that's very important is when you give a sample, make sure that you get their information back so that you can call them and ask them how they liked their sample. So one tip that I heard was on the back of all your samples, put a little Post-it note so that when you're handing them a sample, you can just pull this Post-it note off and say, you know, I'd like to follow up with you. So are you from around here? Is your phone number 260 area code? And they'll just start giving you your phone number. No, I'm from Michigan, so it's 616 or whatever. But if you just start in with their phone number instead of saying, may I have your phone number? They're probably gonna say no because they don't wanna get spam phone calls. But if you just say, yeah, I'd like to follow up with you. Are you from around here? Is it 260? And then they might say, no, actually, or yes, it is 260, and they'll finish for you. So that's one idea for you. I also have, I think I forgot to bring it over here with me, but samples of some of the liquid enzyme cleaners in little bottles. So you could do samples like that too. Okay, so don't be stingy with them, but don't give them out to everybody. So what I typically do is I want someone to buy first. If I see that they're very interested, but they didn't buy something, then I give them a sample. If it's someone that I know that just wants free stuff and they're just in trying to get as much free from the booth as they can, I may not give them my sample. I might give them my business card. So that's another thing. With your samples, make sure that your contact information is included, okay? Number 8, have a form to collect some information from the people who stop at your booth. So what I do is I offer, and I have a sign that says, win a $25 Norwex shopping spree. That's what I offer at my vendor events. And I have a form, I can upload it on the files here, but I have them fill out some information. It's pretty quick. I have check boxes so they can just fill things out quickly. And then here's a little secret. What I do is as I'm talking with the person, if they seem very interested in maybe hosting a party, then before they leave, I say, now what was your name again? And I try and remember that. So as soon as they leave, I can jot their name down. I never said that my drawing was a randomly selected winner. I just say that a winner is going to be chosen for a $25 shopping spree. So what I have done is with those names that I wrote down, I call them and I select them for my winner. And I say, hey, you won the $25 shopping spree. I'm actually offering to double that if you want to book a party. And they might say, oh, I was kind of thinking about it. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So that's what I have done with my, with my giveaway. So that's an idea for you. The number 9 tip is call or contact every single person that fills out one of your forms. And it might seem overwhelming, but remember, this is why you're here. You're here to make connections. And the recommendation is within 24 to 48 hours to contact them. Every day after that time period, 10% of their excitement goes down. So if you wait an entire week, they're already 70% less excited about Norwex. So call them as soon as you can, and I do recommend phone call because then you can make that connection again. Emailing there's a crazy number. It's something like only 10% of emails are actually opened and read. So I don't ever recommend email for something like this. And then number 10, come up with a 30-second or less commercial for Norwex, because people are not going to want to stand at your booth for 30 minutes. So I want to show you what my verbiage is that I do when someone comes up to my booth. Okay, so if they come up, I might say, hey, are you familiar with Norwex? And if they say yes, then usually I'll ask them, well, what do you have? What do you like? What do you use? And then I'll show them some of the other products that I have on my table. If they say no, then I'll say, okay, well, Norwex is a company that is all about chemical-free cleaning that saves you time and money. Who doesn't want to save time and money when it comes to cleaning? And then I'll say, would you mind if I show you a quick demo about our 3 main products? They can actually save, you can do 75% of your cleaning with just these 3 products. And usually they'll say yes, and I'll say, okay, well, the first cloth that we have right here, this is called the EnviroCloth, and I'll have one wet, ready to go. I'll say this is called the EnviroCloth, and it has E for everything, and I remember that this will clean everything. So it will actually clean dirt, dust, grease, and bacteria from a surface. Bacteria, it will remove 99% of bacteria from your surface. So you're just gonna use water and this cloth to clean the surfaces. I use this to clean my glass like I'm showing you now. I use it to clean my countertops. It can be on carpet, furniture. It can be anywhere in your kitchen, appliances, anything you can clean with this cloth. The next cloth that we have is called our window cloth, and this is anything that you want to polish. So windows, mirrors, your car windows, stainless steel appliances, anything that you want to give a good polish to, you're going to use this cloth right here. And then usually, you know, they're seeing how nice that works. As you can see, that gives it a really nice shine. Then the last product here is our dust mitt. This is just like the EnviroCloth, but it's a thicker pile, and it does use static electricity, so if you rub it together, then you can just dust. You don't need any spray, you don't need to bring anything with you, just this. What do you think about that? Do you have any questions about these 3 products? Done. That's all I do. Very quick and easy. Now, I sometimes might talk about the silver if it's a person that, you know, if their eyes are starting to kind of glass over already, I don't want to keep them too long. I know they're not interested. If they seem very interested, then I might go into a little bit more information on the EnviroCloth. So it kind of all depends on the person. You have to read their body language. You have to read them. So those are my tips for the vendor event. I would love it if you've ever done a vendor event. If you have any tips or additional thoughts, please post in the comments below. If you have any pictures of your displays, please post those in the comments below. We definitely want to learn from one another. Like I said, I am not an expert, so I'd love to hear what you have to say. Have a great day, and you could also go online and look for some vendor events. We'll talk with you soon.